/articles/ we'll just put a text of create an article. And when I refresh, we'll see create an article is right here. And if I zoom that in a little bit. So same thing as before. If I click this link, we haven't set anything up for it, so it's not going to do anything. We're going to get a 404 page. So in order to make this work, we're going to have to create a new route inside of our articles.js file. So this one's going to be a little bit different. Before, or in our other route right here, you can see that we're doing a GET request and we do a database call to get all of the articles that's in our database. But what we need to do for this one is do writer.get/create, and this only needs to do request, response, next, and we're going to do a res.render on articles/create. And we're not going to give it anything. The reason for this is when we're creating a new article, we don't actually need to know anything about the articles that currently exist. We don't need to generate any IDs on the front end because, of course, Mongo handles it for us. But most databases that you work with already auto-increment in some sort of way. But there's not a whole lot of information that we need to know about an article to create a new one. All of our logic for validating our article, the new one that we're going to create, will happen on the server. So again, we don't need any of that. So we just do a writer.get on /create. So render the create form for an article. Let me close some of these other files that I have open. So under articles, I'm going to create a file that's going to be called create.pug. It's usually a good idea to name your file something that's obvious for what that file is doing. At first glance, you might think that create is kind of generic. Imagine you have multiple different things that you're wanting to create. How do you know that create.pug is doing anything? The reason for this is because I put it in the articles folder. So when we go to render it, it'll be articles/create, and we know that that's the file for creating articles. So same thing, we're going to do extends from our layout file. Ooh. And then we're going to do block content and render an H1 that says create in article. So if I refresh, here we go. Create an article. It worked on the first try. Look at that. So we can go to articles, and it displays the title of our currently created articles, and then we can create a new article. Or at least we can go to that page. So, and I'm pretty sure that almost every class that you guys have done for web programming has gone over a form over and over and over again. So we're going to quickly go through it. For a form, we need a couple things. The form, and we need to say what type it is. So in this case, it's going to be method is post, because we're not going to use the query parameters of a GET request. That's not usually good practice for a form. Usually that's more for like a search. So we have a form that's going to use post. If we don't put in where, like, or actually, I think I have this backwards. I think it's, hold on. There's action and method. I think action is where you want to go to. I'm just going to assume that it's working. So there's action, and by default, if you don't put that action in, it will try to do a post request to the same page that you're on. Then inside of a form, we also need a button that's going to be of type submit. If you create a button in a form and you don't put type submit, it will by default be a submit button anyway. But it's usually a good idea to always be explicit in what we're creating. So this is a submit button with the text of submit. I'm going to create some inputs. So we're going to have an input of type text. Its name is going to be title, and we don't need to put its value. So we have type text. Maybe we'll just put placeholder. It says title. We're going to copy this a couple times just to check our article. We need title, authors, and body. Date, we're just doing automatically, so we're not going to worry about it. So we need input, type is text, placeholder is authors, and that will also be authors. And then input, type text, placeholder is body, but we're going to do a text area. And the name is just going to be body. So that's it. We have 2 inputs and a text area. And when I refresh, it's all right here. Obviously, this is not a very pretty form, but I am a developer and not a designer. This is why I use things like Bootstrap, because it makes, especially building a small application, a lot quicker. We'll probably go back and try to pretty this up if we have some time today, but I don't want to waste your guys' time trying to make something look nice if we can't get it working first. So I'm going to create a title. So test, author is going to be Chris, body is just going to be lorem ipsum, and click submit. So this is again a 404. And you might be saying, why is this a 404 page? We're on our articles/create page. This should be working. So this is the first time, I believe, that we've done any sort of post request to our application in any class that we've done. So right now we've said this is how we handle a get request for /create, but we haven't said how to handle a post request. So in order to do that, we do the exact same thing that's up here, but we change get to post. And obviously we don't want to render the articles create page. That's not useful. But what we're going to do is just console log out request.body. So request.body is going to be the body of the request that was sent to it. And instead of going to res.render_create, I'm going to use res.redirect to articles/create. Might be wondering why I'm doing this. Basically what this does is it then puts us back to the get request instead of it being on the post request, if that kind of makes sense. If anyone here has ever submitted a form and then hit like Command R if it doesn't work and it says, do you want to resend this form? It's because you're still on the post request and it's trying to resend that request back to it. So I'm just going to redirect back. See, this is the form that I was talking about. And I forgot to put /articles in front of it. So we're going to go to articles, create an article. We'll say test Chris lorem ipsum and click submit. And when I open up my terminal, I can see right here is the object that I sent to it. So it's just, again, because we're using JavaScript, everything is an object. Express is automatically handling. Actually, I can't remember if it's Express or Node is handling this for us. I believe it's the body parser. But it's taken the post request and automatically turned it into an object for us so that we can work with it. So I could say request.body.title, and it would give us the title. So in order to create a new article, I'm going to say const article equals new article, and I'm just going to put in request.body. And then I'm going to do article.save and use await with async. And then I'm going to do, instead of redirecting back to the create page, I'm actually just going to redirect back to the articles page. So that way I can see the list of the new article that I just created. So if I were to comment this, create a new article model, save model to DB, redirect back to list view.
In the COMP framework, does your logic, all your logic exist here?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Well, right now you're writing code to create new articles.
Yes.
Would you put all that code you want to work in here or somewhere else?
So because this is, so the article.js is the controller. So any sort of creation of data.
This is the controller. Okay.
Yes, so this is the controller.
It's just because you have it under, I'm going back, because you have it under models, so I was wondering.
Oh, no, sorry, it's highlighted on models. We're actually in this
Oh,
file
okay,
right
all
here.
There you go. Okay,
Sorry.
That's fine.
So yeah, so this is our controller.
That's your controller.
Yeah.
That's fine. Got it.
So we're creating, saving, and then redirecting back.
Makes sense. All right.
So if I refresh this, I'm going to say, hello world with Chris Naismith, and the body is lorem ipsum, and I'm going to click submit. Now I have this hello world article. So if I wanted to create a second article, I could just say second article, Chris Naismith, lorem ipsum again, and submit. And now I have the second article down here. So this is good. We know that our create an article is working correctly. So what I'm going to actually do is delete these two articles that are right here. So that way I only have articles that have been created inside of my application that have the enforcement of Mongoose. So I'm just going to delete both of these. And then when I refresh, I have two articles. So I'm going to take right now to do a commit. So ability to create an article / view all articles. And push that up to GitHub. Okay. So it's 7 o'clock. So we're going to do a 15-minute break. If anyone has any questions, as I said, you can either message on Slack or come up to the front because it's going to be break. Other than that, be here at 7:15, so 7:15, and then we'll be restarting doing some editing and deleting of stuff, and then trying to prettify our articles. So yeah. So as I said before the break, we were creating and reading the archive, or not archive, the articles that we created. But now we are going to be able to create some more in-depth articles and be able to display some previews. And then of course being able to edit and delete those articles after. So the one thing that I would just like to ask in this class is, of course, when I'm teaching, you guys to, of course, try to remain silent unless if you have a question. Otherwise, if you're going to be talking, if you're just trying to help out, just little whispers, please. But it is distracting both to myself and, of course, to other people in the class because it's hard to hear if there's other people talking in the room. So if you need to talk, please just go outside of the classroom if you need to do so. You know, we're all paying a lot of money to be here at the college, so please respect other people. So in order to start displaying some of the stuff for articles, what I'm going to do is under my archive page, I'm just going to create a script tag. So I'm going to say script, and then console log, and then article or JSON dot stringify the article. So this is, I'm trying to take a regular console log and be able to just spit out to the screen what's going on. So if I open up this, let's see, syntax error. That one will work. That one looked like it did work. So now I have two console logs. So these are the two articles that I have set up here. This is just a way of being able to, on the front end, being able to see what those variables are on the back end. So, sorry? Sorry? Oh, yes, sorry. No worries. I'm also right in front of my screen, so it's hard to tell. So in this is the shape of, if I opened up my Mongo Atlas, I would be able to see it right here as well. But usually it's a good idea if you're working on your application, being able to see what's happening. So we have our authors, which is an array. We have body, date, and title. The other one, we have the exact same thing. Authors, which is an array, body, and title. That the dates are different and the IDs are different, which is good because if it was the same, it'd be kind of confusing. So what I'm going to do is on this page, I'm also going to display the article.body. So right here I can see two articles with their body. If I were to create some more stuff, so let's go to New York Times. And we'll just grab the